𝗲𝗂𝘀𝗁𝗄 and a warm welcome. I'm 𝗲𝗂𝘀𝘀𝗁𝗄. Today's program will be on the Electronic Customs Management System that will be launched by the Department of Revenue and Customs. We are joined by Mrs. 𝗖𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗁𝗄, the Commissioner of Customs and Excise Division of the Department of Revenue and Customs. And we have with us the Project Manager, Mrs. 𝗖𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗁𝗄, the Project Manager of the Electronic Customs Management System. I'd like to welcome both of you to the program. First things first, Commissioner Madam, what is Electronic Customs Management System? Please explain its functionalities and mechanisms, and will it be accessible and user-friendly to business entities?
Let's thank you. First of all, we would like to thank 𝗣𝗿𝗵𝗺 for inviting us for the program here. Going straight to the eCMS. eCMS is an electronic customs management system. It's a clearance system put in place to expedite the clearance of the goods. It's basically the automation of the clearance procedure, the existing procedure, which is a manual. Through eCMS, we are aiming to enhance understanding of traders on compliance, which may increase transparency and predictability in customs transactions at borders. Further, eCMS will eliminate the discretionary treatment in the application of rules and regulation that is perceived to be there currently. Since it's mandatory to use electronic customs management system for the clearance of consignments, in the long run we are expecting that it will promote the use of automation and web-based systems.
So what is the connection between Bhutan Trade Finnet, RAMIS and eCMS law? Which ones should be used first?
Actually, Bhutan Trade Finnet is it's basically to do with the import licensing, and it's under the purview of RMA and Department of Trade actually. And the first one that we have to use is the Bhutan Trade Finnet law. So BTFN, that's the first one where they will process import license through that, and which will be sent to eCMS law. And then from there on we have the clearance procedures.
Since it is all operated online, can we expect reduced paperwork and cost saving for businesses?
Yes, because initially even through the BTFN, when we were issuing the import license, we used to have maybe around 4 or 5 copies, the hard copies we need to print it out. But now, since it's being shared through online, we don't need to print out. That's on the BTFN. And the other one on the eCMS, as far as eCMS is concerned, we do not have a hard copy. So everything is online. You just have to share all your relevant documents to the concerned authorized CFA, so they will do the online declaration. So we don't encourage on the papers. Now, as far as eCMS and customs is concerned, we do not have papers, no printouts.
Now to the project manager. What is the main objective of implementing eCMS in Bhutan?
Yes, before I answer that question, I would like to join my commissioner for thanking 𝗣𝗿𝗵𝗺 for giving us this platform to create an awareness to all the traders there, as well as giving us this platform to clarify to the traders on the issues that they have raised while they're using eCMS. I don't know whether people are aware, but I would like to inform here and take this opportunity that we are piloting eCMS, and it's been 3 months since we have been piloting eCMS, and traders are using eCMS to declare their consignment, be it export, import or transit at the borders. So coming to the question, we have been using Bhutan Customs Automated System, which is a client-based system since 2000. Now it's been 20+ years that we have been using the system. And the hassle of using that system is, considering that it is a client-based system, people are required to come to the customs area. Let's say if they are clearing their goods in Pencilling, they are supposed to go all the way to Pencilling to clear their goods, which is a waste of time, an addition to the cost of doing business. So with all these problems that we have seen, and we wanted to facilitate trade, so 𝗲𝗏𝗰𝗴𝗃 has initiated with coming up with a web-based system. So that's why we have initiated the project of developing the eCMS. So eCMS is a web-based system. It is centrally located. Regardless of where the traders are, they can log into eCMS. At the moment, they have to clear their goods using an authorized clearing agent. So our objective is to facilitate trade by reducing cost of doing business, and also we are also looking at streamlining our process and reducing the clearance process at the borders. So this is the main objective of why we have initiated to implement eCMS.
How does eCMS integrate technology and automation so as to modernize the whole customs process?
Thank you for the question. This is kind of important, because what we want to inform the public here is, while we have initiated the development of eCMS, we are not just, our objective was not just to come up with a state-of-the-art project, but we also wanted to streamline our process with the international best practices, whereby if there are any duplication in the clearing process, we wanted to delete that as well. So before we have even commenced with our development, we had a lot of consultative meetings, not just within RSUs, DRCs, customs, but also with other stakeholders. So what we have done is with meetings with all of the stakeholders, we have streamlined this process to an extent, and we have incorporated all this process in the system and then automized end-to-end process in the system. So we are leveraging that eCMS technology not just to for the people to use eCMS and digitalize the process, but also to streamline and reduce the customs process and cost of doing business at the borders.
Since eCMS is operated online, how will it operate in times of internet issues, internet glitches and connectivity issues, which is not uncommon in Bhutan?
At this time of age of digitalization, this should not be a question we should be asking ourselves actually. But unfortunately, during piloting, we did have a lot of internet connectivity issues. So this we are in the process of discussing with GovTech agency, and in fact, they were very helpful, and they have had a team sent to the regions to look into all the connectivity issues. They are still working on it. We are not saying that it has been resolved. We are at the piloting stage. So the team will be working on it with DRC and customs at the borders to improve the connectivity issues before we launch the system. But having said that, I'm sure there might again be times where there are internet connectivity issues. So what we have is, we have a provision where we have asked our customs officers to use their mobile hotspot to clear the goods and not to stop any clearance at the border because of the internet connectivity issues. So while we are talking about clearance at the border, we customs do not function in vacuum. We have clearing agents who are working on customs behalf to clear the goods. So what we have instructed the CFAs is to come up with a very well equipped office now. They cannot depend on DRC all the time. So they are required to come up with good, well adequate equipments and internet connectivity issues, so that traders at the borders will not be held because of the connectivity issues at the border. So this is what we have instructed the CFAs as well. And the last thing, if there is a connectivity issue and there's nothing we can do about it, neither CFAs or the customs, then we do have a manual provision that we will be using to clear the goods. So this is a last resort, and hopefully we will not have to resort to that.
How will eCMS benefit business entities wanting to conduct international trade, especially the exporters and the importers?
eCMS in fact will be catering to international business. When we're talking about customs, is to do with international business rather than domestic business. How it will benefit the traders across borders, what we are looking into is we are trying to expedite customs clearance. We are trying to improve transparency. We are also making it the customs process predictable to the traders, so that they will know where the consignment is. We are providing that visibility to the traders when they are clearing the goods, because the system, what eCMS will do is at each level of process, the traders and the CFAs are given the information on where the consignment is in the customs area. So they are well informed about that, and with this well informed, they can take well informed decision when they clear the goods from customs. So that is one of it. And the main benefit what we can see to the traders is reducing the cost of doing business, because at the moment currently with the use of bags, they are held in customs area for a longer period of time, because everything is manual and it takes time. So with the implementation of eCMS, we expect that the customs clearance will be reduced, thereby reducing the cost of doing business. So this is what we see as a benefit to the traders.
Yes, Commissioner Madam. Yes. How does eCMS align custom procedures to meet with international conventions and regulations?
Thank you for the questions. The main rationale for coming up with the eCMS is the revised Kyoto Convention. That's a convention under the WCO, that's World Customs Organization. And this revolves around the simplification and harmonization of customs procedures. So it will cut down all the lengthy procedures that we have currently under the bags, and it focuses mainly on the facilitation of trade also, RKC, and any country, if a member to the WCO or a party to revised Kyoto Convention, has adopted procedures which are aligned with the simplification of procedures, and which aims at doing business simple and less expensive.
Are there any measures to ensure data security and privacy in eCMS?
With regard to data security and confidentiality, I think we go in line with what GovTech agency has as per the rules. So our data is hosted in government data center. So I believe GovTech agency, they do have a policy whereby they do maintain the confidentiality and security of data. So that's pretty much what I know right now about data security, when it comes to data security of the system.
As we have had a situation where truckers were stranded in ภิnsling while expediting trade facilitation. So why did it happen, and what can we do in the future to prevent such mishaps from happening again?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think that's a very important question, and the reason why we are here is to clarify these issues, why the truckers were stranded in MDP, especially in ภิnsling. Like I highlighted earlier, we are in the piloting stage. So at the time of piloting, the initial stage of piloting, what had happened was people were not aware of eCMS. They were not aware that the prior requisite to using eCMS and declaring their goods in eCMS was to update their profile in RAMIS and use authorized CFA to declare the goods. So what had happened was people, the truckers, the traders, they were not aware of it, and everybody they were lost initially. But I would like to say now things have improved along the way. So our request, again, I would like to take this opportunity to request the traders out there as well as the truckers to please use the CFA to declare your goods at the point of entry and exit, and to I think you have to ensure that your TPN is updated in RAMIS, and then you have authorized the clearing agents to clear the goods at the entry and exit point. So in terms of the question you asked, what we are doing to improve that, I think this is one of this program is one of the program where we are reaching out there to the traders and the truckers on the prerequisite of what you have to do before you declare your goods in eCMS. So, and we have a line of outreach program that we have in the pipeline to create awareness to the public and the traders out there on how to use eCMS. The system is new, it's new to the traders, it's new to even our customs at the border. So that's why we have an issue. So we have ongoing refreshers course now and then to the CFAs as well as to our customs to ensure that the truckers and the trucks are not stranded at the border henceforth after we launch the eCMS.
Yes, Commissioner Madam, please provide some examples of other countries that have implemented eCMS and how it has impacted their trade law.
I think globally now, because it's an area of digitalization, almost all the countries in the world who are the members of WCO have in fact initiated digitalization. The one country I could give example is the Korea. They have a digital clearance system called UniPass, which is one of the examples for all the customs administration in fact, and through World Customs Organizations, Korea has been sharing their knowledge and technical expertise in developing all this with because they have achieved so much in front of in the customs clearance, the procedures, the expediting, the clearance of cargoes. So I think in fact all the countries have done that, but Korea is one country who have benefited a lot because one very important point to mark is that Bhutan and Korea started its economic development at the same time, but the way in last 60 or 70 years the Korea has developed, Bhutan, I don't think we are anywhere near that. So digitalization has played a very important role for them. Thank you.
Will eCMS impact the role of brokers in the country?
Thank you. As of now, I don't see any impact on their role as such, but it's very important for everyone to know that there is a provision in customs and eCMS, in the eCMS where the traders themselves can declare their consignments without having to use the CFS. But currently we have kept that on hold because the declarations in eCMS is slightly technical compared to maybe most of the systems that are there in place. We have like anything that you import has to go under classification. It's like under the WCO we have around 5,800 commodity codes. So to use the eCMS we will have to train, and currently what we are doing is we have been training, conducting a refresher course for all these clearing agents, so that in our context they are well trained to use the system. So as of now they are using this system, but we don't know when we will be letting the traders use the eCMS. So maybe till next 2 to 3 years I don't think the eCMS rollout of eCMS will impact the brokers law.
Can I compliment my commissioner? Yeah, so you're talking about the impact of CFEs while we implement eCMS. In fact, they will be playing a very important role here. They have been playing a very important role now as well. But with bags, what we have done is eCMS, I mean customs were equally involved in clearing, not only clearing but also helping them declare the goods. Now with eCMS we have given that role to the clearing agent, because as Commissioner has highlighted, they are well trained in that. So we want to step away from there, the customs, and let them do the declaration while we assess the clearance. So they'll have to be very efficient now. they have to be proactive, because as of now, I think since customs was always there to help them and to clear the goods along with them, it was, I think they've become a little complacent. But now with eCMS, since we will not be involved in submitting the declaration, they will have to be very efficient. So this is a major impact that it has on the CFEs. The second thing is, as Commissioner highlighted, we have confined piloting right now to just the CFEs, and as per international practice, and as per now we are getting up to be a member of WTO. As per WTO recommended practice, actually it should be the CFAs that are supposed to submit the declaration, and but our law does not say that it's just confined to CFAs. So we also have given access to the traders, but right now what we are going to do is we are going to start off with the CFEs, and then I think go with the traders. But having said that, we are going to give access to the traders at least to see where their consignment is, and to see whether the CFEs has submitted their declaration or not. So at least they will be in the picture where their goods are. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Yes. Can we expect overall compliance from business entities? Are there any measures to ensure that business entities adhere to custom procedures while operating?
I think eCMS is just a tool to facilitate trade and to enforce the rules. But while you're talking about how you want traders to bring in line with the rules, I think that the rules will have to play the main role rather than eCMS. But we do have a small risk assessment. We do not have a very comprehensive risk assessment or risk module, risk management module. But what we have is we have a small risk assessment component and a functionality in eCMS, whereby we do assess the declaration that's being submitted by the CFAs. So according to that, the profile that we have incorporated in the system, what the system does is it directs and routes the declaration to either red, green, yellow channel. So red channel is something where the declaration needs to be inspected by the customs, and if it's green, that means it's a green signal that it does not have to be inspected and everything is in place. So this is what we have incorporated in the system to ensure that the traders or the declaration that has been submitted is in compliance with our law. So this is what we have at the moment.
Since eCMS is currently on a pilot run, are there any plans to enhance the system, overall system, and when can we expect the pilot run to end?
Yeah, thank you for the question. With regard to, I'll go with enhancement. I think enhancement, it's the second thing right now, because we want to first implement eCMS. But having said that, the system, when we have started with the development of the system, it is a scalable, we have that architect whereby if there are enhancement that is required in the future, eCMS will be able to take that on board. So in terms of when the piloting is going to end, I think we are in discussion with GovTech agency right now. We have some teething issues, technical issues that we are in discussion with eCMS, in discussion with GovTech agency. So as soon as that is being resolved, we will be launching the system eCMS sometime in end of July or maybe early August.
So Madam did touch upon the long-term expected impact of eCMS on Bhutan's trade facilitation. Please elaborate, please tell us more on what are the long-term expected impact of eCMS on Bhutan's international trade law.
So as highlighted earlier, so eCMS is all about international trade. So right now what we are doing is we are looking into just the domestic, how we are going to cater to the import and export that are being done by our people. So in long term, I think we are in discussion with Government of India, whereby we can exchange this data electronically. Right now, even with the implementation of eCMS, since our systems are not integrated to the customs in India, what they need to do is they still need to carry a manual paper to submit to Indian customs at the moment. But with the stabilization of eCMS, we are also looking into how we can share this data across the border with Indian customs, so that they do not have to carry the paper all the way to Indian customs and submit that. And like Madam Commissioner highlighted, we are also looking at reducing the use of paper documents eventually, while we are also trying to streamline the process. We are also trying to look at reducing the use of paper. So this at the moment, I think our discussion is only with Government of India. So I think as things progress, maybe that could go on with countries which we have bilateral trade agreement with.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to thank the Commissioner and the Project Manager for your time. That was the Commissioner of the Customs and Excise Division from the Department of Revenue and Customs, and the Project Manager of the Electronic Customs Management System. In this program, we covered on what eCMS is, its expected benefits, its processes, functionalities, mechanisms, and its long-term expected impact on Bhutan's international trade and customs procedures. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again.